Welcome to the Tribeca Film Festival. This is Jarod Hector with BSO Entertainment, and I am here with Felipe Lopez, the star of the Dominican Dream. Felipe, thanks for giving us some time.
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
So, the height of your stardom was around 1990 to 1994 when you were in high school.
Yeah.
So we're about 25 years post. Why was now?
We don't have to call it that.
Why was now the right time to tell this story?
Honestly, it was something that I really didn't want to do. I don't think that if Jonathan, a producer, would have came with the idea of the way he surrounded the film, I would have not done it. You know, if it was just a basketball kind of flick, I really didn't. I was not really trying to portray myself again in that kind of light. But it was really more about the family, the migration part of it. The unity, just coming to the full story. Which that's the reason why I kind of felt more leaning to wanted to do the film.
And you hit the nail on the head when you said it's about the family, the immigration story. So that is the story of America, right? It's immigration, but that is also specifically the story of New York City, right? I mean, with Ellis Island right across the river, I mean, that is, immigration is what this city was founded on. So talk a little bit about what that was like, coming with your family up here, a country where you don't speak the language. It's very different to what you used in the Dominican Republic. What was that first month to 2 months like?
It's really a shocking experience coming from the Dominican Republic. You have so much freedom, landscapes different. I live in a very small home, and you come out here, it's so many tall buildings. Everything is a lot bigger. We never saw a train before. So it's like you're pretty much in awe. Everything for the first, I would not even say the first month, for the first 6 to 8 months, you pretty much just developing. You're trying to get used to the system, and especially the part of not being able to speak the language. Because now that's where you have to surround yourself around the family, and just you want to be comfortable no matter where you move. And a lot of the time when you speak to a tourist that doesn't speak English, they kind of a little bit afraid, like looking away. They don't even want to make eye contact because it's just that part, or you're just feeling uncomfortable within the surrounding that you're supposed to live in.
And so, was the part about retreating more towards the family, was the language barrier a big reason why? So, I mean, the family, you can see from the documentary, the early going, you guys were already close to begin with, but because of language, did that force you to retreat even deeper within the family unit?
And also the whole tag of New York being rough, not having to really trust people in the street. It gives you that very insecure feeling that the only people that you can really count on is your family. And like you say, ourselves being such a close family, just before we moved to the United States, it made us bound a little bit tighter. Because one, you don't know who to trust, and two, you don't know. I mean, even if I went outside, there was no way that I was speaking to anyone because I couldn't. And that really just gave me a nice little niche for me to be kind of comfortable around my family a lot, and it really helped with the decision when I decided to go to school. I kind of just felt like just being close to the family. And
so for you, basketball then became that avenue where, okay, I feel comfortable because on the court, it doesn't really matter what you're saying, right? Your play speaks for itself. And you were one of the dominant high school players in the history of high school basketball. I mean, we're talking about you, Lou Alcindor, some of the great players, and Lou Alcindor, of course, also from New York. You guys were up there as some of the best. So talk a little bit about starting at Gauchos and then going to Rice High School, and that had to be a shock for you because you go from coming to DR, I don't speak this language, and you literally become a celebrity in a year?
Well, probably took a little longer than that. Just to make a name for myself, it took a little bit longer. But you called it. It's almost having two personalities. Someone very shy of the basketball court, and then stepping into the basketball court and being somebody that just really wanted to be accepted. Just wanted to be part of this whole movement of young kids that they look pretty cool, pretty hip. They're not Dominican, but I want to get to know them and for them to know me. And the only way that I was able to be accepted was, you know, playing hard, showing them that I was, you know, capable of playing, you know, at their level, and just getting that little nod, like, you're good, you're good, you know? So you kind of feel like, man, I really have something going, because at the end of the day, you go to the park and you play 5-on-5, and you don't get chosen to play. That's a hard feeling, man. Like, you're like, man, what, they think that I'm not good enough? So, you know, I never wanted to feel left out because of my performance.
And so you dominate, #1 high school player in the country, Gatorade Player of the Year 1994. How was the decision process to decide, okay, from Rice, I'm going to go to St. John's? Because I'm sure you could go to Duke, Kansas, Carolina, IU.
I'm a city guy, man. I think what New York City was able to give me early on my career was a lot of love. You know, I felt like, man, I'm in the newspaper a lot. You know, I'm just being recognizable. I'm with celebrities, and I mean, I couldn't comprehend all that.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that this is what New York provides to success story like the one I had in high school. So I visited UCLA, I went to Kansas, I went to Florida State, Cedar Hall, but there was nothing like New York. You know, there was nothing like staying close to family, and now that responsibility of playing in front of my community, the Dominican Republic, which it was something that from the early going, I already was being identified with.
Absolutely. I mean, they nicknamed you Dominican Michael Jordan. And for a lot of Dominican kids, as you know, baseball is the sport of choice. So there's a lot of burden on you in many ways, right? Because not only, of course, is the immigrant story in which you get on, in other words, you're bringing everybody else on with you, but you're lifting up the entire New York City Dominican community at the same time. Looking back on it now, did you see it as pressure now as an adult looking back, or as a kid where you kind of just like, I'm just playing, doing what I got to do?
Well, before landing into the cover of Sports Illustrated, I was known, but I was not known, you know, nationwide the way he blew up. You know, because now I'm going to different kind of arenas, and people before I even playing, they're already booing me. You know, first of all, I'm playing against, but on top of that, you know, people's gunning for us, and you know, I think that really stepped up the pressure. That's when I started kind of really feeling like, man, there's a responsibility behind being the cover of Sports Illustrated. And I never played with that type of pressure. You know, I mean, that's a pressure of the game, which is cool. It's supposed to be like that. But now you have the expectation of people. You know, if you score 20, well, he should have scored 30. You know, so it's kind of changed from people to people. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think I could have satisfied everyone, you know, flavor.
Yeah.
Just the way, you know, just the way people thought that, you know, then the whole story should have gone.
Is that fair, you think, that kind of pressure is placed on you?
I mean, it's not fair for anyone. It's not fair for LeBron is being compared, Kobe's being compared. You know, they have to struggle with that. You know, no, I'm the best. No, we got AJ, he's the best. You know, so a lot of time you take it a little bit personal.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting, you mentioned LeBron, you mentioned Kobe. So they came after you, obviously. But you looked at sort of what they did, right? Straight from high school to the pros.
I would go.
I was going to say, was that ever a thought for you?
I would go. Because, you know, I tell people, that was not a blueprint.
No.
It was like, okay, we can try this, and let's see what's going to happen. You know, and it's funny because if you watch the documentary, my mom, she was very afraid because she said that I was very skinny.
Yeah.
And, you know, my young boy, he's too skinny to go to the NBA. They beasts out there. Yeah. So, to a sense, it's like, man, like you just forsaken going 4 years of college, and you just, and that was just something that our family, we never had an understanding. Now you can compare things with the LeBrons and the Kobe and the Kevin Garnett. You know, but then we also have some unusual stories like Lenny Cook. You know, Jonathan Bender. So you know, this the flip side of some of the stories that you don't get to hear anymore because obviously we don't talk about, you know, the winners.
Stories. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, so you obviously said you would have gone, but what was that decision-making process like? Not to go from high school to the pros, but to go to college and to choose. Obviously, the family played a role, but how much agency did you have as, no, mom or dad, I'm thinking about here too, and they were like, no, we going, you're gonna stay here.
You know, just visiting the different states and the different colleges, It just that grind, that New York grind that I was kind of getting, I was used to. You know, when you move to out of New York, you feel a little bit more relaxed, like, oh man, like a lot peaceful. And I was kind of accustomed to like just that grind, like you know what I'm saying, that want to go out there and just try to do something instead of just kind of lay back. You know, I'm not a laid back. Well, I am kind of laid back, but in the sense of working, I want to make sure that I get things moving, and that's what the city and St. John was providing me, and that's, you know, in the sense, one of the transfer, that whole success story that I had in high school, I wanted to take that over to St. John's, and unfortunately, you know, I wasn't able to put it together as a team, and that's why we were able to tell the story.
But it's also great because you were also just used to being in New York. Because remember, you left the DR, right? So you were like, okay, I'm already comfortable here, so I'm sure that played a large part in your decision too, to stay because the community's already built up. So now you have your freshman year. The team, as you say, doesn't do well, but you have a pretty good freshman season. What was the thought process then? Should I go pro? Should I stay? What should I do?
I'm still in the back of my mind thinking like we can do this better. You know, we made it to the NIT that year, and I'm feeling like we can do better. You know what? I grew up old school, and I grew up where when you're given a duty, you want to make sure you do your best job. You don't quit in between it. And I felt like, you know, okay, going over to the NBA, I would have left all this responsibility that I already have built up with the coaches, with the teammates, and everything else, with my fans. You know, and I felt like we can do better. You know, and I wanted to end up on top. I wanted to end up, you know, giving the school, you know, something that they can really feel and they can chill about, instead of just like, you know, just quitting and halfway into my career. Yeah. You know, it takes a lot of toll when the school lose, you know, like the top player. They have to like rebuild again. Yeah.
But how much did wanting to make money impact your decision?
That's the thing though, like as a family, we were like not like money hungry. It was just more education hungry. You know, my mom was a teacher for 25 years, and she preached, you know, education first above all. And you know, we've been grateful for her to just be able to stick to those principles, because at the end of the day, we are a better family because I graduated from college. You know, my sister graduated, my brother graduated, and prior to that, my father never graduated, my mother never graduated. So we giving ourselves, and I'm even giving an example to my kid. My son is 19, he's in Buffalo University. You know, my daughter, she's 15, she's already thinking about, you know, going to the University of Washington. You know, so we are passing on, you know, something that it was not given to us at an early age, and that's, you know, moving forward and be better than us.
So, you know, obviously you have the hindsight now of seeing it all sort of take place, and you feel good about what you've accomplished. What did it feel like though in the moment, right?
Terrible.
Yeah.
It felt terrible. It felt, you know, that a lot of things have collapsed. And, you know, the fan base and all the ooh and ah, now it has turned into boom.
Yeah.
And you have to refine yourself. You know, I'm still in the process, and you know, the film I talked about how, you know, I got into a depression where I wasn't enjoying the thing that I was doing. You know, I really didn't want to come out from my dorm room. Didn't want to deal with people. Yeah. So I had to kind of, in a sense, had to refine myself. I kind of just went into a basketball court on my own and just started to just trying to enjoy the game a little bit. Instead of having somebody telling me how to do things, I feel like I needed to go back and find my own rhythm, the way I had it, you know what I'm saying, before I went to St. John's.
And so obviously, as every story, there's arcs. So, okay, things are not going well, but Fran Fraschilla comes on, you start improving as a player, start enjoying the game again. Senior year, you guys make the NCAA tournament, you go to the second round, right? And you know how that game plays out. But you're feeling like, okay, the team didn't do it, but I stayed my 4 years, I graduated, now I'm finally gonna realize my dream and go to the NBA.
Man, I still a little bit sour, because I really wanted to go deeper into the NCAA. I really wanted it, you know, things to be a little bit more fired up before I finished my career. But unfortunately, you know, it was not a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
But now I'm out from college, and now I'm like had to shake all 4 years, all the things that people were saying, and now I'm into the world on my own. There's no, you know, coaches, they're not helping me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the aging is just there to try to plug you in with different teams.
You're in Vancouver too.
So yeah, so now I'm in my own. So now I have to find myself and really compete. Now that hunger came back, you know, of just really wanting to because I always had the hunger, you know. All right, so I finished third all-time scorer at St. John's in this, you know, school history. And how many players I've gone through St. John's. So it was not like the scoring part. I was able to score. It was just more, you know, the unit as a team. Like I wasn't able to, you know, bring the team around with everything that, you know, I kind of thought about. So now I'm, you know, I'm in the process of being chosen or being considered to be a first rounder. So I had to fight all over again for something that I really wanted. So that hunger came back.
And you get to Minnesota, right? So you spend the time in Vancouver, you bounce a little bit in Minnesota, you start playing ball, great season. The next season, your contract's gonna end, but you're playing really well. So in your mind, you probably thought payday's coming, right? gotta get that cash, right?
That's right.
And you get hurt in the preseason.
And I never got, you know, I played throughout my career and never really had a serious injury. So I really never knew how to felt being injured. So when that happened, I'm in the back of my head, it's like my whole world just collapsed. Because I really wanted it, I had worked so hard for it. And you know, unfortunately it just happened, but you know, I would say that some blessings come in disguise.
Well, you're a man and from a family of faith, but that had to test your faith big time.
No way. You have no choice. You know what I mean? You have no choice. I was put right on the table. I was put on the burning table, and you know, I needed to get up from that and try to make the best possible. But it's a process. It's a process that you have to trust. It's a process that even when I was hurt, like, you know, one of the first things that I say, my prayer, I just told God, just give me the opportunity to run again. I just want to run. You know, so he kind of put a lot of things in perspective as far as like how to be appreciate what you do on an everyday basis. Okay, so I appreciate all the things because at the end of the day, I'm good. I'm able to wake up, get up on my own 2 feet, you know, struggle or fight with my hands. Because during my high school year, one of the things that I really appreciated was that I played on this tournament called the Wheelchair Classic. And one day, before we played the game, we would go to the island and we visit the hospital where a lot of people were at the hospital, wheelchair. And the vibe that I was able to get from those people in Bay, I know, you know, they were not walking it, but their spirit was something that like drove me to understand, like, Felipe, what you're doing here is, no matter what it is, it's just a blessing. You know, you gotta go out there with a hunger, you gotta go out there and do it because they can't. You know, so that's the reason why even in the film I always talk about being blessed and being appreciative of things, is because we are able to actually just control some way the destiny. If you wake up a little bit early in the morning and you go for that dream or that thing that you actually is burning in your heart that you want, you know what? Some things are going to open your way, you know, but we just sometimes don't have the focus.
And it's interesting for you because the way in which the film ends, right? You end up playing basketball on the semi-pro team in the Dominican Republic. So it came full circle for you, right? And the dream in many ways was realized, right? Because you played in the NBA. Now, the career may not have been ultimately what you wanted it to be, but I get the sense from you into the documentary that it's exactly the way it was supposed to go.
And I couldn't be any. You win an NBA championship, you win it for the city, for the team, for yourself, and great, you get all the accolades. But winning the championship for the team that I so suffered for so many years, that I was a water boy, that my brothers and my sister played for, they tried it, they never, you know, were able to accomplish the thing that I accomplished that one year. It was really fulfilling to what basketball meant to me, because it started there and it finished there. But it finished on a note that everyone around my neighborhood could say, like, yeah, he played in the NBA, but he came back here and he fulfilled a dream for all of us.
And to wrap it up, you now again, with the hindsight being 2020, but with all this wisdom, what are you doing now with your career as it relates to basketball, and how important are the lessons from this film to you pass down not only to your kids, but what you're doing within the communities in the DR, and particularly with the Dominican people here in New York City?
So, I started my nonprofit, Ministerio de Fe, Felipe Lopez Foundation, and I started in Washington Heights. I moved into the inner city of the Bronx because of the need of so many inner city kids living in single home, especially in the Bronx. Mental health, that's like such a big issue when you talk about inner city kids and inner city, cities, because it is the reality of it. A lot of these kids, they growing up without fathers or without a mother, or just being raised by the grandma, so they have to just go out to the street and become their own man. So that's where mentoring programs like the one that I've been providing through My Brother's Keeper, which is an initiative that Barack Obama started doing his administration, come in, bring young professionals like ourselves, and we go and we mentor someone that actually just need to be heard. That's basically what it is. They just need to be heard. They need to just be told something of their past in a kind of way. So that I really appreciate it. Plus the fact that we have done some work in the Rikers Islands, with some of the juvenile inmates, providing education for them, making sure that once they leave, they are able to provide the same platform for them to continue their education, get their GED, and hopefully, put them into getting jobs. And like I said, it just been nothing but blessings, because I enjoy doing the community work, because somebody has to do it, and someone like myself that came from the same, the same neighborhood that so many other young Latinos and Black came from. It's only fitting for me to come back and tell my story, let them know I'm very firm when I speak to them, because a lot of times, you need to be firm with some of these, young men, just to let them know, like, nah, man, you're not doing it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your thing together, because there's other ways to do it. So it just, like I say, it's been a blessing, and I will continue to do my work through the foundation as long as I can.
Felipe, appreciate the time, man.
Any information, man, that people can go into FelipeLopez13.com to find out about the work that I do here, and also in the Dominican Republic.
Awesome. Felipe Lopez, Dominican Dream. It debuts here at Tribeca Film Festival on Tuesday, April 30th on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. Thank you. Hey, appreciate that, man.
That's awesome.
It was good.